It pretty much doesn't matter how old you are. You've been hearing the music of Stevie Wonder most of your life. First hit, 13 years old as little Stevie Wonder, Fingertips Part 2 in 1963, and wait for it, with Marvin Gaye on drums.
Not bad.
But you've been also hearing other musicians talk about how his influence, has affected them for most of their lives.
Yes, and that influence is not just on music, but all realms of the art and humanity. And coming up here at BRIC House in a little more than 2 weeks, dance. And speaking of dance, I'm happy to introduce you to the man to my right, Ronald K. Brown, the choreographer and founder of Evidence, a dance company. Thanks for being here, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And across the table from him is the writer and musician, Greg Tate.
Yes.
Thanks for being here,
Good
Mr. Tate.
Yeah.
And the man behind the dance party,
Hey.
a producer and musician, DJ Spinna.
Greetings.
Thanks for being here,
Thanks
guys.
for coming in.
And only Stevie Wonder could get all of these around the table right now.
And he's going to be here, right?
Yes. Well,
Any minute.
Well, DJ Spinna will be here. So tell us about the inspiration for this party that you make.
Wow. Well, the Wonderful Party is an event that I've been doing with my wife, Keita, for over a decade now. So, the first run of it was with Barbito. He was my DJ partner, Barbito Garcia, and he's moved on in 2007. So I've been doing it solo for that amount of time, and we've been taking it around the globe, everywhere from Germany to Japan to Amsterdam, and of course here in the States. It was birthed, the birthplace was actually a little spot called Baby Jupiter in Lower East Side.
You're taking me back.
Yeah, Baby Jupiter, and it was really a small tribute to the album Songs in the Key of Life, and there were a few local DJs, Kumar, Barbito was on that bill, and then in 2001 we decided to make it a bigger thing, even though the first official Wonderful Party started off as a small thing at Filter 14. As far as capacity goes, that was the birth of the Wonderful Parties, and ever since then it's been growing, and
Around the
just
world.
going,
Wow.
just going all over the place.
So we know ain't no party like a Brooklyn party. But who comes close with their love for Stevie and just showing up in the place when you take this thing around the world?
Oh, man, Stevie Wonder has appeared about 4 times to this party, and every time is like a new experience. I've had the pleasure of working with him on several platforms, but these parties have taken on a life of their own. It's like a pilgrimage. People travel from all over the world, and of course, when he comes, it's just an added additional spice, a surprise thing. But it's been a great trip.
What was it like the first time he came? Were you surprised?
Oh, wow. Well, yeah. Actually, the first time he came it was a hopeful thing, because we actually planned, first of all, the party happens around his birthday in May, which is May 13th. So we always plan the party here in New York around that period. But in the year of 2005, he had a concert at Madison Square Garden. So we strategically planned to have the party again in the fall, in November, as an after party, and we were trying to get him there through a family member, and it was looking gray up until the very last second. 3:30, he shows up.
Wow.
Okay, speaking of showing up.
Exactly. Let's go to the
Look
tape.
at this. I dare you not to sing along. So, Mr. Tate,
Yes.
you're a musician and a cultural critic. I'm going to ask, in your professional opinion, what artist that's alive right now can inspire that kind of following and still be so relevant and have this man take a party around the world and have people just show up?
I mean, I think the closest equivalent for, say people who were the age I was when I first heard those albums, Music of My Mind, Fulfilling This, would be Prince.
Yeah.
In terms of somebody we have now, we know we think of as being a master songwriter, composer, performer, multi-instrumentalist, producer of his own music, innovator in terms of sounds, in terms of working across genres, able to write a song in any kind of genre and create new genres, with the songwriting. And then to be that kind of musical Pied Piper, where people are, for whatever the length of the concert, people are focused there. They're not necessarily kind of tweeting and texting all the way through the show. They may not even have, they may not even be trying to like iPal the entire show because they're so caught up in the drama of the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then having that catalog of music that everyone knows every word, every lick, every ad lib, and they've taken them to heart. I think Prince is acknowledged. Certainly Stevie's impact on him. I don't think enough people have talked about him as being, as him aspiring to be in that lineage of excellence, because I think that what Stevie laid down really inspired him to become the complete artist that we know him to be.
Well, speaking of complete artists, so you're a writer and a musician. How do those two art forms sort of influence each other in your life?
Yeah. Well, I know. I come, kind of from a time in D.C. when every brother I knew in my high school, like we were all trying to play guitar or bass or drums, and everybody had a little band. So, but when I started writing for the Village Voice, like in the '80s, like the best compliments I ever got were people saying, "When I read you, I hear the music." Whatever music I was writing about, because I was really that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to translate kind of the passion and the rhythm and the color and texture of the music into prose.
Right.
Can I jump in here for just a second? You're speaking of music, and I wouldn't let it pass by. We've got a little clip of Burnt Sugar, which you happen to really bring the music in this. So I just want people to take a look and see your other hat.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. All right, and that was Burnt Sugar.
That was Burnt Sugar, a performance we did at the Atrium at Lincoln Center a couple of years ago of David Bowie's music.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and because Burnt Sugar is obviously a big band. I think you only saw about a third of the band in that clip. I think there were about 18 folks in that particular performance, and the band, it kind of has two identities. There's one that is really about improvisation and really about creating new music on the spot. And then we've been really fortunate over the last about 5 years to do kind of these extraordinary tribute projects. We did one with Melvin Van Peebles with Melvin. We actually rehearsed in this building.